No.1, Oncologist, reveals the simple daily habit that prevents cancer. After 50, pause your current activities, for the information I am about to impart could very well represent the most significant health guidance you will encounter this year, potentially impacting your well-being for the foreseeable future. This is not an exaggeration, but a critical observation, as a vast majority of medical professionals, including many oncologists, are not routinely informing patients over the age of 50 about these crucial preventative measures. The reason is not a lack of knowledge, but rather the fact that these potent health enhancers do not come in a pharmaceutical form, meaning they are not packaged within a pill bottle, and therefore often overlooked in conventional medical advice. I am Dr. William Lee, a distinguished vascular biologist, accomplished cancer researcher, and respected author who has dedicated over 25 years of my career to understanding the intricate mechanisms that prevent cancer at the most fundamental cellular level. My extensive research, bolstered by a monumental 2022 study conducted by Harvard's T.H. Chan School of Public Health, which meticulously followed more than 116,000 adults for an impressive 28 years, has revealed a profound truth. A specific constellation of daily habits has the remarkable capacity to reduce overall cancer risk by an astonishing 61% in adults exceeding the age of 50. This is not a claim about a new supplement or a revolutionary chemotherapy regimen. It is about the transformative power of lifestyle choices. Today, I am going to meticulously dissect the 5 most impactful components of this habit, presenting them in a ranked order from beneficial to absolutely life-altering, ensuring that by the conclusion of this discourse, you will possess a clear and actionable roadmap to implement these changes starting tomorrow morning. As a preliminary point of intrigue, I want to highlight something particularly noteworthy. The habit ranked #1 on this list is something that an overwhelming 90% of individuals over the age of 60 are currently engaging in incorrectly. The scientific evidence strongly suggests that rectifying this single habit could independently halve your cancer risk. Therefore, I implore you not to skip ahead. Please remain engaged until the very end, as the sequence of these habits is deliberately structured, with each one building upon the efficacy of the last. Before we embark on this journey, I would like to pose a personal question to you. Kindly leave a comment below, stating your age, and share whether you have ever had a physician engage in a comprehensive discussion with you about cancer prevention, rather than solely focusing on detection. I personally review every comment submitted to this channel, and your insights genuinely inform the direction of my future content. Therefore, I would be grateful if you would take approximately 10 seconds to share your experience. Now let us delve into the core of the matter, beginning with habit number 5. At position number 5, we have a practice that is so universally dismissed as overly simplistic to warrant serious consideration that this very dismissal might, tragically, be costing individuals their lives. I am referring to the simple yet profound act of cold water hydration, specifically the practice of consuming 16 to 20 ounces of cold or room temperature filtered water immediately upon waking, before any coffee, before any food, and crucially, before you even glance at your mobile device. Please, refrain from dismissing this out of hand. Allow me to explain the compelling scientific rationale, which is deeply intertwined with the biology of aging. After the age of 55, a physiological phenomenon known as interoceptive thirst sensitivity begins to diminish. In simpler terms, your brain becomes less adept at accurately signaling when your body requires hydration. A significant 2019 study originating from the University of Barcelona revealed that adults over the age of 60 are often chronically operating with cellular hydration levels that are 8 to 12% below optimal without ever experiencing the sensation of thirst. The implications of this for cancer risk are substantial. Your lymphatic system, which functions as the body's internal waste removal service, diligently collecting cellular debris and damaged DNA fragments, is almost entirely dependent on adequate water levels to operate efficiently. When you are dehydrated, this vital waste disposal system slows down considerably. Consequently, damaged cells accumulate, leading to an escalation in inflammation. Chronic, low-grade inflammation is now widely recognized as a primary driver in the initiation of many cancers, particularly those affecting the colon, bladder, and kidneys. The esteemed Harvard Nurses' Health Study, a longitudinal study of immense scope, discovered that women who consistently consumed more than 5 glasses of water daily exhibited a 45% lower risk of developing colon cancer when compared to those who drank 2 glasses or fewer. This is an extraordinary finding for an intervention that is entirely free of cost. For aging bodies in particular, maintaining proper hydration also plays a crucial role in supporting a process known as autophagy, often referred to as the cell's self-cleaning mechanism. Envision autophagy as an internal quality control inspector within each cell, meticulously dismantling damaged components before they have the opportunity to mutate and potentially lead to disease. Following the age of 65, the efficiency of autophagy can decrease by approximately 30%. However, studies have demonstrated that maintaining optimal hydration can partially restore this vital cellular function. To implement this habit effectively, place a 20-ounce glass of filtered water on your bedside table. The very moment your feet touch the floor in the morning, consume the entire contents of the glass before engaging in any other activity. For enhanced palatability and an added health benefit, you may incorporate a squeeze of fresh lemon juice. The D-limonene present in the lemon peel possesses its own independent anti-tumor properties, which we may touch upon later. As a synergistic enhancement to this habit, consider pairing your morning hydration with just 10 minutes of gentle physical activity, such as a brief walk around your home. This movement actively stimulates lymphatic flow, and according to research from the Karolinska Institute in Sweden, it can amplify the cellular cleansing effects by up to 40%. Therefore, habit number 5 serves as a foundational element, but what you choose to consume at breakfast can be even more impactful. Let us now move on to habit number 4. At number 4, we encounter a food that has been a staple in the diets of the world's longest living populations for millennia. For decades, it was largely dismissed by Western medicine, but it is now the subject of over 1,200 peer-reviewed studies focusing on cancer prevention. I am referring to fermented foods, specifically naturally fermented options such as plain yogurt, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut, and miso. A groundbreaking study published in the journal Cell in 2021, conducted by researchers at Stanford University School of Medicine, revealed that adults who adhered to diets rich in both high fiber and fermented foods exhibited a significantly enhanced diversity within their gut microbiome. Moreover, they showed a measurable reduction in 19 specific inflammatory proteins, several of which are directly implicated in the progression of cancer. What makes this particularly vital for individuals over the age of 50 is the phenomenon of increasing intestinal permeability, commonly known as leaky gut, which tends to occur after the age of 60. In this condition, the lining of the gut becomes more porous, allowing bacterial toxins called lipopolysaccharides to infiltrate the bloodstream. This infiltration triggers widespread inflammation, which can act as a potent fertilizer for precancerous cells. Let me share a personal case. Margaret, a 67-year-old patient from Asheville, North Carolina, presented with persistently elevated inflammatory markers, chronic fatigue, and a strong familial history of colorectal cancer. While her overall diet was healthy in many respects, she consumed no fermented foods whatsoever. We integrated 2 servings of fermented foods daily into her regimen, morning kefir and a small portion of sauerkraut with her lunch. Within 90 days, her C-reactive protein, CRP levels, a key indicator of inflammation, plummeted by 38%. Her gastroenterologist was astounded, and Margaret reported feeling like her former self for the first time in years. The underlying mechanism involves short-chain fatty acids, particularly butyrate, which is produced by beneficial gut bacteria when they ferment fiber. Butyrate plays a critical role in signaling precancerous cells in the colon to undergo apoptosis, essentially instructing them to self-destruct before they can cause harm. Imagine butyrate as a vigilant security guard who discreetly escorts potential troublemakers away before any damage can be inflicted. The recommendation is to aim for 1 to 2 servings of naturally fermented food per day. It is imperative to opt for unpasteurized varieties, as the heating process in pasteurization eradicates the beneficial live cultures. Always look for live and active cultures on the product label. For synergistic enhancement, pair your fermented foods with prebiotic-rich foods such as garlic, leeks, or slightly underripe bananas. These prebiotics serve as nourishment for the beneficial bacteria introduced by the fermented foods, amplifying their positive impact considerably. Habit number 4 is undeniably potent, but habit number 3 delves into territory where the scientific evidence becomes truly extraordinary. If you are finding this information valuable, this is an opportune moment to subscribe to this channel and give this video a like. I am committed to delivering evidence-based health content specifically tailored for individuals over 50 on a weekly basis, and your support is instrumental in making this endeavor possible. Now, let us turn our attention to habit number 3. While you have almost certainly heard of this practice, I assure you that you have not encountered an explanation that elucidates its profound cancer preventive effects in the manner I will present. Furthermore, it is highly probable that you are not implementing it in a way that effectively activates its protective capabilities. I am referring to daily walking, but not just any form of walking. I am speaking about what researchers now term metabolic walking. The distinction between a leisurely stroll and metabolic walking could, quite literally, be the difference between inadvertently fueling cancer and actively starving it. Let us examine the science behind this. Your body derives energy from 2 primary fuel sources, glucose and oxygen. Cancer cells, due to a metabolic anomaly first described by biochemist Otto Warburg in 1931 and subsequently confirmed by countless studies, exhibit an almost exclusive reliance on glucose. They are remarkably inefficient at utilizing oxygen for energy production. Consequently, when you engage in sustained physical activity of moderate intensity, the kind that elevates your heart rate to approximately 55 to 70% of your maximum capacity, you achieve 2 remarkable outcomes simultaneously. Firstly, you deplete circulating glucose, thereby starving cancer cells of their preferred fuel source. Secondly, you saturate your tissues with oxygenated blood, fostering an environment that is inherently hostile to the survival of cancer cells. A comprehensive meta-analysis conducted in 2020 by the American Cancer Society, which reviewed data from over 1.4 million adults, found that regular moderate physical activity was associated with a 42% reduction in colon cancer risk, a 38% reduction in breast cancer risk, and a significant 27% reduction in lung cancer risk, even among non-smokers. These are truly remarkable figures for an intervention that requires no prescription. However, the specific biological implications for aging are critically important. After the age of 65, the number and efficiency of your mitochondria, the minuscule powerhouses within your cells, can decline by as much as 35%. Mitochondrial dysfunction is now understood to be a significant contributor to both the aging process and cancer progression. Sustained moderate walking stands out as one of the few interventions scientifically proven to stimulate mitochondrial biogenesis, meaning it directly signals your body to generate new, healthy mitochondria. Picture this as receiving a fresh fleet of power generators for every cell in your body. Metabolic walking entails 30 to 45 minutes of continuous walking at a pace where you can still comfortably engage in a conversation, but would find it somewhat challenging to sing. This activity should be undertaken at least 5 days per week, and ideally, it should be performed in the morning before your first substantial meal. Engaging in fasted movement significantly amplifies the glucose-depleting effect. Let me tell you about Robert, a 72-year-old retired teacher from Portland, Oregon, who sought my guidance 3 years ago following a concerning precancerous polyp discovered during a routine colonoscopy. He was understandably terrified and had completely ceased exercising. We initiated a morning walking regimen for him consisting of 35 minutes of walking 5 days a week, coupled with dietary modifications. During his 2-year follow-up colonoscopy, his results were remarkably clear. No polyps were found. His oncologist specifically noted his dramatically improved inflammatory markers and described his recovery as exceptional. Robert himself commented that walking felt like a form of medicine, and he was entirely correct. It literally is. For a synergistic benefit, pair your morning walk with your morning hydration, as outlined in habit number 5. Furthermore, if possible, conduct your walks in areas exposed to natural light. Morning sunlight exposure plays a crucial role in regulating your circadian rhythm, which in turn governs immune surveillance, your body's sophisticated cancer detection system. The combined effect of these habits is far more powerful than either implemented in isolation. Habit number 3 is remarkable, but the subsequent 2 habits represent where the true revolutionary aspects of cancer prevention emerge. Habit number 2 involves a dietary component, and its method of combating cancer after the age of 50 is unlike anything else documented in the nutritional literature. Here we go. At number 2, we focus on a compound, or rather a family of compounds, found within a very specific category of vegetables. The research detailing their cancer-fighting mechanisms in adults over 50 is some of the most compelling scientific evidence I have encountered in my 25 years of research. I am referring to sulforaphane, the potent bioactive compound abundant in cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, cabbage, and most notably, broccoli sprouts. The reason this is of such profound importance for aging biology is directly linked to a remarkable discovery. In 2018, researchers at Johns Hopkins University, a leading institution in sulforaphane research, published findings demonstrating that sulforaphane activates a master genetic switch known as NRF2. Consider NRF2 as the chief of security for your DNA. Upon activation, it triggers the expression of over 200 protective genes simultaneously. These genes are involved in crucial processes such as detoxification, antioxidant defense, and critically, the repair of damaged DNA before it can undergo cancerous mutations. The aging-specific tragedy that underscores the urgency of this discovery is that NRF2 activity experiences a decline of approximately 40% between the ages of 50 and 70. In essence, your body's natural DNA repair system is gradually shutting down. Sulforaphane acts as a catalyst, effectively awakening this system. A landmark study from the University of Illinois indicated that regular consumption of sulforaphane-rich foods was correlated with a 52% reduction in bladder cancer risk, a 41% reduction in prostate cancer incidence, and significant reductions in markers associated with breast and lung cancer. Perhaps most remarkably, research from the Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center has revealed that sulforaphane specifically targets cancer stem cells. These are particularly dangerous cells that conventional chemotherapy often fails to eradicate and are primarily responsible for cancer recurrence. Imagine cancer stem cells as the generals of a military force. While the foot soldiers can be eliminated, if the generals remain, they will inevitably rebuild the army. Sulforaphane directly engages and neutralizes these generals. Now, regarding preparation, this is where many individuals err significantly. Sulforaphane is not inherently present in broccoli in its active form. It is generated through a chemical reaction that occurs when the vegetable is chewed or chopped, activating an enzyme called myrosinase. However, here lies a critical issue. Cooking at temperatures exceeding 140 degrees Fahrenheit effectively destroys myrosinase, meaning that thoroughly cooked broccoli provides very little active sulforaphane. The optimal preparation method involves chopping or lightly crushing your broccoli or sprouts and allowing them to sit for 40 minutes before consumption or light steaming. This permits the myrosinase-activated reaction to reach completion. Subsequently, steam for no longer than 3 to 4 minutes. Raw broccoli sprouts require no cooking and can deliver up to 50 times more sulforaphane per gram compared to mature broccoli florets. The recommended intake is half a cup of raw broccoli sprouts daily, or 1 full cup of lightly prepared broccoli. For a crucial synergistic benefit, pair your cruciferous vegetables with a small amount of raw mustard seed powder or raw radish. Both of these are independently rich in active myrosinase. Adding them to cooked cruciferous vegetables effectively restores the enzyme activity that was diminished by cooking, thereby increasing sulforaphane bioavailability by up to 4-fold, according to research from the Institute of Food Research in Norwich. This concludes number 2, a truly powerful habit. However, what I am about to reveal as number 1, the single most impactful daily habit for cancer prevention after the age of 50, is what the cumulative body of research has quietly been building towards, and it is the very aspect that most preventative health conversations fail to adequately address. This is it. This is number 1. Number 1 is sleep, but not just any sleep. It is specifically what researchers now refer to as oncological sleep architecture. This term encompasses the precise quality and timing of sleep that activates your body's most potent anti-cancer defense system. The data detailing the consequences of disrupting this system on cancer risk is, quite frankly, staggering. Let us explore the underlying mechanism. During the deep, slow-wave sleep stages, specifically stage 3 and stage 4, your brain activates the glymphatic system. This is a recently discovered waste clearance network, first described by researchers at the University of Rochester in 2013. It utilizes cerebrospinal fluid to effectively flush toxic proteins and cellular debris from your brain and nervous system. Imagine this as a powerful internal purification cycle that operates exclusively at night, when the body's metabolic activity is at its lowest. However, the connection to cancer extends far beyond mere brain health. During these same deep sleep phases, your body produces its highest concentrations of melatonin. Melatonin is not solely a sleep hormone. It is recognized as one of the most potent endogenous antioxidants known to science. A comprehensive review published in the journal Cancer Research in 2021 found that melatonin directly inhibits tumor angiogenesis, meaning it impedes cancers from developing the new blood vessels they require for growth. Furthermore, it significantly stimulates natural killer NK cells, the frontline soldiers of your immune system, whose primary function is to identify and eliminate cancer cells before they can establish a foothold. Now, for a devastating statistic related to aging, melatonin production experiences a decline of up to 70% between the ages of 40 and 70. The majority of individuals over 65 produce almost negligible amounts of melatonin during sleep. In essence, your most powerful internal anti-cancer mechanism is operating at a fraction of its intended capacity. A 2019 study conducted by the International Agency for Research on Cancer classified night shift work, which consistently disrupts sleep architecture, as a probable human carcinogen. This classification places it in the same category as certain pesticides and industrial chemicals, underscoring the profound seriousness of sleep disruption in relation to cancer risk. I recall a patient, Eleanor, a 71-year-old retired nurse from Scottsdale, Arizona, who was consistently sleeping only 5 to 6 hours per night and experienced frequent awakenings. Her immune panel revealed severely suppressed natural killer cell activity. We collaborated on what I term a sleep recalibration protocol, which involved establishing a consistent 10 p.m. bedtime, ensuring complete darkness in her room, lowering the temperature to 67 degrees Fahrenheit, eliminating all screen use 90 minutes prior to sleep, and consuming a small serving of tart cherry juice at 8 p.m. to provide natural melatonin precursors. Within 6 weeks, her sleep duration consistently reached 7.5 hours. At her 3-month follow-up, her natural killer cell count had increased by an impressive 47%. Her oncology team was astonished. Eleanor herself expressed that she had not experienced such restful sleep since her 40s. The scientific evidence is unequivocal. Adults over 60 who consistently achieve 7 to 8.5 hours of sleep per night in a properly dark and cool environment exhibit cancer mortality rates up to 48% lower than those sleeping fewer than 6 hours, according to a 20-year cohort study from the University of California, San Diego. This is not a minor consideration. It is the master switch. To optimize your sleep for cancer protection, adhere to the following non-negotiable practices. Establish a consistent bedtime and wake time, even on weekends, as your circadian rhythm does not observe days off. Ensure your sleeping environment is completely dark, as even minimal light exposure can suppress melatonin production. Maintain a room temperature between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. And crucially, avoid eating within 3 hours of sleep, as the digestive process competes with the essential cellular repair work your body needs to prioritize overnight. For a synergistic benefit with sleep optimization, combine it with daily morning sunlight exposure, as detailed in habit number 3. Morning light serves to anchor your circadian rhythm, and this anchoring effect directly enhances your evening melatonin output. When these two habits work in concert, they create a biological environment that is exceptionally challenging for cancer to establish itself. All of the studies referenced throughout this presentation are linked in the description below. I strongly encourage you to review them, share them with your physician, and pose the questions that your appointments may not always allow time for. As we conclude, I want you to internalize this fundamental message: you are never too old for prevention. The scientific principles of health and longevity do not have an age limit. Regardless of whether you are 55 or 85, whether you have previously faced a cancer scare or have never given it a second thought, your body retains a remarkable capacity for healing, defense, and regeneration when provided with the essential conditions it requires. These 5 habits: morning hydration, daily intake of fermented foods, metabolic walking, the consumption of sulforaphane-rich cruciferous vegetables, and restorative sleep, are not esoteric protocols. They represent the fundamental conditions under which your biology was intrinsically designed to thrive. They incur minimal cost, necessitate no prescription, and each new morning presents a fresh opportunity to initiate these life-affirming changes. Your independence, your quality of life, and your ability to be fully present for the people you cherish, these are undeniably worth 30 minutes of walking, a glass of water, and a consistent bedtime. Do not allow anyone to persuade you that it is too late. The scientific research unequivocally states otherwise, and so do I. If you have found this video beneficial, please subscribe to this channel and share it with someone you care about. Each week, we delve this deeply into the science of aging well, and your support is instrumental in sustaining this work. Now, I am eager to hear from you. Which of these 5 habits will you implement first, and what has been your most significant obstacle in achieving quality sleep? Please share your answers in the comments section. I read every single one.